Hey vlog, I'm in my office, but I like recording on my phone. I think it's a lot easier than doing it on my computer. The computer's getting old. I'm thinking about getting a new one. Gotta get one soon anyway. You know, eventually they don't last that long. Okay, I'm kind of tired today. I was looking at myself in the mirror. Man, I don't know. I need some sleep or something. Just look terrible. Had 3 calls yesterday. They're going well. The 2 calls yesterday were just like, hey, I just want to chat, which was cool. Just, you know, catching up with someone I already knew, or they're just like, I don't need any coaching advice, I just want to do it. And then one thing I'm kind of proud of myself for is someone has been a customer for like 2 years, almost 2 years, and he's never made a side project or anything in Clojure. So after giving him some like, hey, why don't you watch this? He's like, yeah, I watched that one. And like he basically has watched everything, but he's never done anything. So I was like, listen, you have a deadline, you have homework. Go do a project. I promise I'll review it at the end of February. And that seemed to, you know, get him a little bit more motivated. So I was proud that I recognized that over video, that like something's up. Like he needs something more than just content. He needs a kick in the pants. So I'm glad I did that. You know, sometimes that's what you need, and you know, I've often thought about doing like a 1 week, like every day I give you a little thing to do, and it's just to like kind of kickstart you from, you know, it's hard to get started on stuff, so this would be a little bit of motivation, social pressure to get something done. I got the final import of my link posts onto my new blog, and I'm this close to launching it. This close. So what I still need to do is there's a training page and a speaking page. The speaking page, there's 2 sections that have nothing in them, like they're just like the outline. I just need to get rid of them. And then the training page, I need to just put something on there. You know, like contact me for training. You know, just like 2 paragraphs, like this is what I do. It's not going to be the best, but I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of having this like on my shoulders, like always on my mind. I just need to switch over and mark sometime, you know, on my to-do list, like make a better sales page for your training. I feel like the site is already doing the job it's really made to do, which is to rebrand me or brand me as the functional programming guy. And now that means making a lot of content just about functional programming and the definition that I have. I'm going tomorrow to be speaking at a meetup, and I'm going to be talking about functional programming, give a quick definition and how to get started with it in an existing code base. And it's mostly front-end programmers. It's called Front-End Party. So anyone who does any programming, if it's not just HTML and CSS, they're going to be using JavaScript. And so I'm going to focus it on JavaScript, like how to start using the functional programming ideas, not like install this library and do everything this way. It's just going to be like, look, here's a refactoring that you can do. You know, separate out your code that relies on the state from the code that doesn't rely on the state. I'm recording it, so I'm going to bring my camera and everything and set that up and put that on there. I just need a lot of content. You know, just need more stuff. Let's see what else. I have. We talked about this yesterday. I realized that I should just end the reframe course and make it make it available. And I didn't get anywhere on that yesterday, but I did talk to someone about it, one of my coaching calls, and it is. I checked. It is over 8 hours. That's a big course. It's a big course already, and I just need to draft an email to my list and just say, listen, it's done. Um, there will be more reframe content, but it'll just be in a different course. That's all. And I think everyone will be fine with that. Um, just need to do that. And I got an early one, like in 20 minutes. I've got a call, and then I've got a big no. Then I've got one at 12, and so then I have a big chunk of time until 3:30. So that's probably where I'll be doing all that work to um, finish the course. I will be able to do the training between the two early calls, the training page, and then launch the site. That's going to be exciting. These things are never finished. They're never ready. Um, you know, that is an old idea that something will be finally ready and you can release it when it's done. There's always more to do, and so just switch it over now. Like it's a better reading experience. I this is it's totally the right time. I don't know why I'm even talking about it. See, on the conference front, so I talked to someone last night. I went to a local meetup last night, and there are two locals who wanted to do an Elixir conference, and they are kind of copying my model. We kind of started organizing at the same time. Theirs isn't going to be until November. They're taking it kind of slow, but they, we were kind of working together and kind of sharing tips and stuff. And then at some point, I found a venue, and everything just started having to move forward, especially since mine is in February instead of November. So I've been moving forward, and so they've been like, "Oh man, like what have you been doing?" So I just shared everything with them, and they're using the same venue as me, and I think that's awesome. Like it helps everybody because the venue is getting better at doing this kind of technical conference and knowing what's needed, and we're all getting better figuring out how to actually run the conference and make it a success in that space. Because you're talking about what restaurants to go to for lunch and like where to get coffee. Like all these little things will help each other. So I'm happy about that. And I'm also hoping that I can go to that. Although I might not be in town. Don't tell anybody, but I might not be living here anymore in New Orleans. But we'll see. That in November, I don't know. Okay, maybe not. Okay, so if I'm doing the functional programming guy thing, the Elixir crowd needs to learn that. A lot of them are Rubyists. They're very object oriented, and they get 5 chapters into the book and they realize, oh, this looked like Ruby, but it's not. It's different. And they are used to having a lot of literature, and there's just not a lot of Elixir literature. It's the same as with Clojure. There's just not a lot of literature about how to program. There's a lot of stuff where people are talking about the language and how great it is to solve these little toy problems and stuff like that. But in terms of like what people really want, and I resisted this for the longest time. you know, they want they want uh, mnemonics, right? They want the 5 things you need to know. They want the solid principles, right? And so they want to sit there and memorize, like, what does the S stand for? What does the O stand for? And like that helps them make their code better, right? Whereas in Clojure, at least, I'm not that familiar with the Elixir world. In Clojure, it, especially up until now, it's been a lot of experienced programmers who are like, I don't, I went through that period of my career where I was learning all these principles, but like at the end of the day, just give me the pieces and I'll put them together myself. They are like master wood crafters, right? And they appreciate the hand tool that lets them do exactly what they want, as opposed to like the big power tool that, you can only cut right angles or something like that. And so a beginner looks at it like, oh, power tool, this is easy. Zoom, zoom, zoom. That's what now I can build something. Whereas the master woodworker is like, but I want it to be kind of a little angle because of this, and he has reasons. And then he wants that tool that lets him have perfect control. But then, of course, it takes a long time, and it's a beautiful piece, but you can't just hand that tool to a beginner and say, like, go make a desk. It's not possible. Okay, so I'm digressing. That is the kind of thing I'm trying to create. Because you'll hear people say, like, oh, well, it's not really a design pattern. I don't really like that term. And they spend so much time in their presentation talking about how they don't like the term design pattern, but they're going to kind of use it because it's like, no, dude, call it a design pattern. Just call it a design pattern, because then people will latch onto it. They'll be like, oh, I've been looking for another design pattern to learn. I've only got 25. I need a 26, and I can share it with my friends. Like, that's what they want. It's just a phase you go through as you advance through your career. Like, you want guidance, You need someone to help you, and people don't have time to just become a master before they start using your language, So that is, that's how I'm approaching this. Just remember that programming is a pop culture. Like, I know we're kind of in denial about that. It is a pop culture. It has celebrities. It has waves of ideas that come through and trends, and we just need to embrace that and make sure that the trends are useful. Make sure that the celebrities are saying things that are helpful to people, and making sure that it makes software better. And it just doesn't seem like people are willing to accept that. They want it to be some kind of pure thing that descends from some basic principles. And anyway, I struggle with it too. That, like, do we really want celebrities? Do we really want someone to be like, like a rock star, like the Beatles, where like people are chasing them down the street and they're trying to get away from the concert, and they're like, I just want to be alone for a minute. Do we really want that? You go to a conference and it's like, oh, let me touch you. That's the way it is. Like, it's not as bad as, like, you see in those old videos where the Beatles are running from like crowds of screaming teenage girls. It's not like that. And there were a lot of men trying to touch them too. Don't forget about that. But it's a celebrity culture. Okay, I think this has gone long enough. I talked about my personal site. Those are my 3 focuses right now. Brand myself as a functional guy. Clojure Sync, make sure it's awesome. And then number 3, is make it the most complete closure training resource in existence. All right, folks, hit that thumbs up. If you don't like it, do hit the thumbs down. That's all right. Be honest. Give me a comment. I got a comment the other day that I was pacing too much and it seemed frantic. Even though I was leisurely pacing, turning the camera like this, it's like Michael Bay movies. Great, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Subscribe, share it with your friends, watch it again. See you later. Bye.